You're gonna get fired. You're gonna be in so much trouble.
Yes, I want the Maserati. Yes, I won the Academy Award. I wanted it when I was 12, and I still want it to this day.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dev Show. I'm here with Danny Gura. How are you doing?
Hey, Dev, how are you, man?
So, obviously we're going to touch a little bit on Superstore, the big finale, and your experience on the show. But for everybody who's watching at home, Danny, you're a big comic book fan.
Much like yourself, I am.
So who are some of your favorite characters?
You know, I'm still a Marvel and DC guy at heart. I still like to see what's going on with them. I'm a child of the 90s. There's this old character called Darkhawk who just recently came back. But he's an old, cool character from the 90s. Give me the traditional guys. Give me Spider-Man. I love Green Lantern. I always liked Green Lantern because I like the guys who really don't have much powers except that ring that can do anything.
Right.
I think that ring could, like, even take down Superman. You know, I mean, you got to think about it. That ring might be the most powerful weapon in the universe.
Quite possibly. And we seen a glimpse of it in Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut. Did you watch that?
I did. I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I was very happy with it. I was happy to see the backstories. And I thought much like everyone else, Cyborg was fantastic in it.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see more of that. But yeah, it was good. It was really good. It was nicely done. I'm glad we finally got the cut.
Absolutely. And that's just like goes to show the fans' voice is being heard, right?
Now we gotta have like cuts of all the other movies and see what else we're missing and everything. Well, look, it worked for Deadpool, it worked for Logan.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, they tried so hard with both of those movies to get them, you know, first Deadpool to even get released or to get made, but Logan to make sure it was an R-rated movie, and then, you know, people turned out for it.
Absolutely. And I like you said there that we're gonna hopefully see it for more movies. I gotta mention. I don't know if you see Doc Ock in the back there. That's the original from the Raimi movies. People are now saying we need a Raimi cut of Spider-Man 4 because he never got to make that movie.
I saw that, yeah, and like all the different plans that he had. Well, you know, anytime you can have more dancing Maguire, that's all we really need in life. So very
unique.
I would love to see. I like the Raimi movies. I like Tobey Maguire was good. Andrew Garfield was, I don't know. They never went anywhere, and the parents, the subplot with his parents and everything, they never went anywhere. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking very forward. I'm looking very forward to seeing the rumors are true about everyone showing up again for the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I did want to mention that a little bit. What are your thoughts on the rumors about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back for Spider-Man 3?
What's great right now, and look, I'm much older than you, unfortunately. I grew up in an age when comic book movies were just joke movies, where they weren't taken nearly as serious. They were even presented seriously. They were comedies, and they were even the old. If you watch the old Superman movies, you know even the Donalds, they're not that good, really. Clark is this bumbling idiot, and and they don't respect the audience. Years ago. Suddenly, X-Men comes along, and X-Men came along with Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman before even who Jackman was, Halle Berry. They respected the craft, and they respected the comic books, and they respected the audience, and lo and behold, people turned out for that. So ever since then, the comic book movies have been crediting, the audience, have been really, saying, okay, we understand, you guys get it. And so now you introduce the multiverse, which is awesome. They did that with the Spider-Man into the into the multiverse, right?
Yeah.
They're doing that with Doc Ock. Doctor Strange's new movie. It will be the multiverse. They're giving us credit that we can understand that. Okay, there's a Spider-Man here, a Spider-Man there, a Spider-Man there. Why not bring them all together, man? That's awesome. That's gonna be great. DC's doing the same thing with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I seen that. It just like the confirmation came out that Keaton's coming back as Batman.
Yeah, that'll be great.
And like, just one of the things that I think is really cool about these multiverse kind of aspects of thing is that we're going to be able to see what chemistry Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton have as Batman. What chemistry Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland, which, to be honest with you, I don't really like Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield. Like, Tom Holland, to me, like, I got so attached to Tobey Maguire as a little kid that it's hard to compare.
That's what you know. That's what you know. It's hard to get off.
I understand that Tom Holland's is like more comic accurate, which that has some nice things to it. But like I said, like just being able to see the chemistry between them and seeing villains like Doc Ock be in the movie with Green Goblin, which is another rumor. All these are rumors, by the way, guys. Except for Doc Ock, Alfred Molina said that he's coming back. Feige's probably like lighting a fire under him right now, knowing the MCU.
Well, and I even you watch any of the DC TV shows?
I haven't seen as many as I should. I've covered a lot of Marvel stuff on the channel, so I haven't watched many of the TV shows for DC. You know,
go back into the Arrowverse. The Arrowverse also same thing. Does a really nice job where there's a lot of inside jokes for comic book fans and a lot of real. It's pretty satisfactory for comic book fans, and they do a lot of, like I said, a lot of inside jokes there, but. Again, a respect for the audience. That's all I want. I don't need nipples on a bat suit, okay? Even, I don't want that. Just respect the audience. I know that it's ridiculous. I know that I'm coming to see a comic book movie, so just make a comic book movie. That's fine. You don't have to explain, oh, this is a silly scenario that could never happen. No crap,
Yeah. So
I was talking with my friend the other day, and we were talking about the Avengers movies. I said, look at Tony Stark, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. Every time Tony Stark is like the Elon Musk of comics, right? Just this inventor, and every piece of technology in the world runs on Tony Stark. How important he is. You don't think that every single time he flies off into space as Iron Man, the stock market doesn't go crazy or the economies crumble or anything in real life? We never see that. Just who cares? Just go with it.
Yeah, for real. I think that all of this stuff is really good, really cool. The comic book movies being the next. I mean, not even the next. It's been the route that the cinema has taken. I like how now with Netflix and all of these different services, we're getting new exclusive series. Have you watched any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe series?
Oh yeah. I mean, the Disney Plus is doing the shows that are out so far with WandaVision and Winter Soldier, and fantastic. It's crazy, just fantastic. And I'm one of those who also has the WandaVision, the first 2 episodes. Okay, where's it going? But man, once it hit. It was great. I loved where it's going. I loved seeing throwbacks to things. I loved I think it was the second episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Don Cheadle was there.
Yes.
They had Rhodey,
Yeah.
I love it when they throw references to other characters in the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Connected. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You got to think about what a gamble Marvel took to interlock a universe like that, because it could have failed at any point, and they really lucked out. But they do it really well. That's all Feige.
Yeah, and it also comes back to Jon Favreau, too. With Iron Man, and just to see the things he's doing now, even still with the Star Wars universe and Mandalorian. Are you a fan of Star Wars too?
Mandalorian is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. We might as well dive into Superstore. We'll come back to other things like that we were talking about previously. I know I started us off talking about some hot topics.
When you start going off on a comic book tangent, I'm just gonna have to go with you on that. I'm sorry.
That's it, right? It just never ends. The big finale. How was that for you? You guys watch it? Did you watch it with your family?
The finale. We got word that we were unfortunately canceled. Almost 2/3 of the way done with our current season. So everything had to come to a halt in a sense, and then speed up by the speed of light, and all of our writers and producers had to rewrite and refigure all the storylines, and now we're talking about bringing closure to everything as opposed to teasing for another season. So the last 2 episodes actually ended up filming in a straight back-to-back order. I mean, and when I say that, I mean we went 14 days, including weekends, just straight through filming from one to the other. It was a lightning rod. It was a marathon, and then as it gets closer and closer to the end, the emotions start to come out more. That this is really coming into the end. this is it. This is the finale. And it was a
Yeah.
pretty emotional time there at the very end, because these are people who, they spent the last 6 years with. I saw them more than I'd see my own family every day, and so it's hard to say goodbye. No one wanted to say goodbye. No one was ready to say goodbye. So yeah, it was an emotional time. I watched the finale with my family, and I knew what was happening. Even I got a little teary eyed there at the end. It was a well written finale. I gotta say, I'm very, very happy with how that finale turned out, because
Yeah.
for being rushed as it was a beautifully written finale. And if you've seen it, Colton Garrett's speech there at the very end is just
Yeah.
beautiful to just sum up what life really is like for reality, and for all of us that have actually worked in those type of jobs.
I'm guilty of watching it when it came on to Netflix, right? And so it was with NBC for a bit, and it continued being with NBC, but Netflix picked it up, I guess, to I don't know. There's some shows on Netflix.
Netflix in Canada, and I think Hulu has it here in the US,
Right.
and not Peacock, obviously.
Yeah, so I started watching it on Netflix, and it just really started, like, it grew on me so much, where I was just found myself laughing an unhealthy amount during every episode, and the characters are just so fantastic. I just really have to commend you, all honestly, because that show was perfect in my opinion.
The characters are real. I mean, that's the thing, is that first off, you have a chemistry of people who genuinely liked each other, and that's kind of rare in some Hollywood sets.
Oh, yeah.
There's usually someone who doesn't like someone else, and all this infighting. There was never any infighting from day one, so everyone came together instantly. The characters are real characters, are real people with real emotions. We look real, we talk real, we have money problems and social issues and all different kinds of issues. So it's very easy to relate to, I think. And then once you just sit down and start binging it, damn, it's funny.
Yeah, on to find yourself sitting there and really shipping. I guess shipping is the word. A relationship on screen. Sometimes it's like it feels like real life, and like you were saying, these are real real people. I think that it did a super great job at being able to tell a story that has so much to do with it's like, it's not a comic book story. This is real life.
Look at the main character of Amy, who's now a divorced mother of two now.
Yeah.
Three after the finale spoiler. But she's a divorced mother working at a Target type of store, the Cloud9 there, just trying to make ends meet, and stuck in a mediocrity there, trying to work her way up. Who can't relate to that? So I mean, maybe not the divorced mother of two, but who can't relate to trying to work their way out of their current situation, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and when I was watching, just those moments of pride and accomplishment when Amy moves to manager, and then she moves to corporate. It hits close to home. I'm only 17, so it's not as close to home as it was for like somebody like my mom, who I am trying to get to watch the show. But those yeah, right. Those mini accomplishments are really cool to see, and it's not so much thrown in your face as much as it is come along and experience this,
because they feel actually earned.
Yeah,
they feel like justified. It feels like this character actually earned this reward, as opposed to just having it land in her lap, or a lottery ticket win or something. The show, that was the thing. The show was always real, and always thinking about real middle America. It's set in St. Louis, in the middle of America. It's dealing with people and everyday problems.
Yeah. And so I'm going to ask you a little bit about your experience on the show and how you got on the show, just for our audience. But one thing that I'm interested in, and I want to know from your experience, the character Brett in real life, he has no social media, no nothing. I want to know more. Like, what is it? How is he like in real life?
Brett, first off, Brett is played by John Miyahara.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did you ask this of Marianne also?
We haven't spoken yet.
when you make sure you bring up Brett to her, because she'll say the same thing. He's the most adorable person on the planet. He's hilarious. He is not of the acting earth at all, which is great. He was an old auto mechanic out in California, and he's just a natural. And he's just he's hilarious to work with. He's the ornery old man. He'll tell you like it is. He's seen it all. He's done it all. And but he's still he was probably my best friend on the set.
Oh yeah.
He thought every day. I'd rather be golfing. But man, he was he's a hoot. He was my best friend. We would hang out the most on that show.
Wow, that's so cool. I'm glad I asked about him.
Oh, he's the best. He doesn't have his grandson. His whole family's in the business. His grandson does a lot of good voiceover work for a lot of cartoons. Yosagi Ujimbo, I believe he does for the Ninja Turtles. Cartoon, and some other characters. So yeah, so his family's all into it very much. So he's just the best. He's just he's what you get. What you see is what you get with him, which is awesome.
Yeah, and when there is a line, it's like, oh, gotta rewind that and watch that again. How you got on to Superstore? Could you tell us that story?
I was lucky enough that there was a casting department that was looking for additional actors to be the employees on the pilot. I was called on the pilot, so I've been there since the very, very beginning of it all. And they called the casting director. The casting department said, "Would you like to be on the show? It's a pilot. It's just a pilot. Going to work 5 days." And as a struggling actor in Hollywood, when you hear 5 days of anything that's of a steady income, you're going to jump at that, you know? So I was on the pilot. I had no idea what would really come of it. I knew that when I read the script, I said, this is a smart show. I looked at the lineage of our writers coming from The Office, and, you could see a lot of the similarities in the tone and the style and just the smartness of the show.
Yeah.
So I was picked to be, I actually had a different name in the pilot.
Oh, did you?
I had a different name. My name was Taylor in the pilot, but you could never see my name tag, which was good. We made it through that week. We filmed at a Kmart in Burbank, an actual Kmart that has now closed down. But the store was open when we were there, so we were sitting there in our little blue vests, and people would come up in the middle of takes, actual customers, and say, someone came up to America Ferrera. And they asked her where light bulbs are. Excuse me, do you know where light bulbs are? And she'd politely say, "I'm sorry, I don't really work here. We're filming a TV show here."
Wow.
So, yeah. So that was fun on the pilot. And then, and they invited you back, and then they just keep inviting you back, and you're humbled, and you're honored to come back.
What was your experience like being on set?
The thing about the show is, and it's hard to translate because the sound, it's actually two giant sound stages that are connected, the Superstore, and the Cloud9 itself literally takes up the entire inside of the sound stages. There's very little room to walk around the outside. When you walk onto that stage, and it's fully covered, so there's closure, there's a ceiling above you with lights and things.
Okay.
You feel like you're in a Walmart. You feel like you're in a Target. You feel like you're in a Superstore up in Canada. You have Superstores in Canada, don't you?
We do have a store, I think, called Superstore. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
But you walk in there, and it's easy to forget that and I mean every day that you're on a set, because it looks really good. The products are all real. The lighting feels like you're, it's lit inside, like you're inside of a Target or any, a store like that. There's the different sections. It's beautifully done. So it's almost like its own little magic that when you do walk into that door, it's very, very easy to forget where you are and just kind of let yourself and kind of get into the whole show of it.
And how long did it take you to figure out where the eggs were?
Well, more importantly, it's where the bathrooms were from there. Oh my God. There were 4 entrances and exits into the soundstage, and you have no idea where you are for a while. I mean, you can get lost in the toy section or the grocery section. It all melts into one place after a while.
When you can make a show, you've accomplished something. And when you can make a show and you have a base of fans who are touched and support the show, that's a whole other thing. Like, that's just really great.
It's I said it before. It's humbling as an actor. It's humbling as a person that their fans are that dedicated out there. That's really really cool. That's very special. And I remember, like I grew up with shows like that. My childhood show was The Wonder Years when I was a kid.
Right.
I don't know if you know that one at all.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, when you can connect with the show so well and so intimately that the characters aren't characters anymore, but actual people and everything. That's a real cool thing. That's a magic feeling. And as an actor, that's all you ever want. You just you want to please. That's all. So that's really cool that the people even now 2-3 months after the show's off are still talking about it on a daily basis and debating certain aspects of the show and picking things apart.
Yeah. Do you keep who do you keep in contact with from the show?
Still all of them. We still have our own text chains and our email chains, and we still I miss you, you miss me. What are you working on? Who's working on this? And we're also in contact.
That's awesome. And what does the future hold for Danny Gura?
Ooh, I don't know. You tell me. Give me a good Marvel movie. I want my own Marvel movie. That's good. I can be Captain Marvel. Maybe not. So
maybe. I mean, who knows?
We'll figure out. Apparently, anyone can be Captain America these days, so we'll just go with that.
Right.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how that ends. By the way.
Yeah, I know. They should have shown the suit. I think they could have done that, and it would have been more hype.
They will for the last episode, and if you know the comics, Sam becomes the Captain America. He's got that cool white suit and the star and everything. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, and I think that the suit was kind of leaked a while ago with those action figure sets that were pictured.
Oh, I hadn't seen those. I hadn't seen that yet. Oh, so
I don't know. It was real. I've seen multiple times like action figures being how people find things out about characters. Like there was a whole line of Funko Pops that were released for Shang-Chi, and you see some of the characters that weren't even announced for the movie. And so like that's probably one of the easiest things to cover up, and it's giving out the most information. Listen,
I'm impressed that that they revealed the Mandarin being in it.
Yeah.
That'll be very good to see.
But wouldn't it be so cool if Iron Man would have been able to be part of that movie? Just to see the real Mandarin,
Yeah, I know. I grew up with that. Well, let me ask you this: Is you think Steve Rogers? You think Chris Evans comes back for the last episode?
Oh man, I don't. What I want to say is yes, but
there's got to be some cameo, right? I mean, there's got to be some cameo.
Maybe a flashback, but the way that he said, I think I'll try to do his accent. He's gone, they would say, but I don't know if they'll be bringing him back. I really really hope that they do.
That's the red herring. Maybe that's the red herring right there. Is that he was so adamant in saying Steve is gone, man. That's we could see old Steve again one time.
I think that would be, with Marvel, nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
I think. Do you think that he will?
I'd like to see. Yeah, I think he's gonna come back. Personally, I think it'll be like maybe at the end of the episode, another little speech between the two of them or something. But I hope so. I hope so. I want to see more of Zeke too.
Yeah, man, the way they did that character, I think they did a really good job with him.
Fantastic, good motivation, good acting. Real powerful, fantastic. They really developed him well.
I just like watching the show, and Zemo, he's in handcuffs. Next shot, just the handcuffs.
Yeah.
And then the Wakandans are fighting in the room, and then the next shot, he's just gone. It's hilarious.
Well, I like when he's caught, he's just like, okay, it's time to go. Like, it's just, I'll see you later, Bucky.
Yeah, but so there are gonna be lots of more shows coming. Which do you have any that you're excited for? Stand out?
Loki should be fun. I'd like to see Loki because I like Tom Hiddleston a lot, and his portrayal is fantastic in that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Loki. What else is coming out? What else?
There's She-Hulk. I'm looking forward. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the characters that are still only on the pages right now. Like you've got the series Moon Knight, you have She-Hulk, and Abomination is coming back in She-Hulk, so that should be cool to see.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm going to be curious to see how closely aligned they are. There's the all the rumors about setting up for the Thunderbolts. You know, all the bad guys
Yeah.
and then I would like to see. You know what I want to see? Really, my guilty pleasure. I would love to see General Ross, but as Red Hulk.
Oh, okay. Okay. Become
You
Red
know that
Hulk.
storyline? You know that storyline in the comic books?
I'm not familiar with that one.
So, you know, Thunderbolt Ross there, the one who has the whole beef with the Hulk. In the comic
Yeah.
books, he becomes his own version of the Hulk, the Red Hulk.
Okay.
So, I'd like to see that, you know, translated onto the screen somehow.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I get they are doing a pretty good job of bringing back original actors too. So, I mean,
Hey, look, there's a lot of different storylines and source material that they could use, which is really cool.
oh yeah, for sure. And how did you like seeing House of M being brought to screen in WandaVision? Do you think they did a good job at that?
Well, no. I mean, I was disappointed that after the great reveal of Pietro there, they just kind of flicked it away and said, you know, it was really nothing. It was just an actor looking for a part.
Yeah.
Because again, you're talking about the multiverse, and you know, we were talking about, you know, the intersections of things. Cool, yeah, sure. Why
Yeah.
not bring in? You can have Pietro again, and then you know, everyone's waiting to see. Everyone's waiting to see the X-Men enter the Marvel studio, the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
When the X-Men, and so you can do that. Establish her as Magneto's daughter. You can do all that, you know. But I don't know. I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see Magneto back in it.
Yeah, I think that was really a really what would the terminology be? Like slap in the face a little bit, or
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. It was, especially to the fans who who love that stuff. We feast on all of those reveals and things, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And the terrible joke. It was just, yeah, that part I wasn't. That kind of brought me down, and the whole everybody is Mephisto, and then I
Right.
thought everybody was Mephisto. Like, so.
It'll be interesting to see where they go with because now they've exhausted even their B-roll of characters. You know, you're now they're taking a chance on like Shang-Chi there and everything. You know, characters who are really unheard of. Even
Mm-hmm.
the Inhumans are pretty much unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of the characters they're using now aren't even C or D levels. They're really trying to establish themselves. And I remember, you know, when Iron Man came out, all the controversy of, oh, this isn't a well-known superhero. He was the B list of superheroes, and now he's the most popular superhero in the world. You know.
Yeah, it's crazy what the cinema can do to a character, really.
Sure.
But now, and there's also Ms. Marvel that's going to be coming out. They're really setting up the Young Avengers. You've got
Hawkeye's daughter there. You got Cassie Lang.
Yeah.
You've got Hawkeye's daughter. I forgot her name.
Hawkeye. Oh yeah. No, it's not coming to me. But yeah.
So that'll end up being a Disney Plus series too.
Eventually, man. There's also a few movies. I mean, Black Widow has been pushed back for how long now? Are you excited to see that?
That's gonna be my first movie. I've deemed that my first movie back in theaters. July, I think now.
Like here in Ontario, we're in our third lockdown right now, and we're not allowed to. There's a stay-at-home order. The theaters I don't see being open for a long time, but in the States, if Black Widow does go to theaters, I think that it'll be a good return.
Are you in Niagara Falls itself? I mean, are you in Niagara, like?
Oh yeah,
Ontario. So you're right by the border. Do you come over a lot? Do you ever come over? Has it been harder to come over now?
Our borders are completely closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to come over, but not anytime recently, not in the past year.
Yeah.
But something else that I'm excited to come back, and we haven't talked about, is Comic-Con. Do you attend Comic-Cons?
I've been to a few Comic-Cons before. Yeah, I like to attend Comic-Cons. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's always it's crowded, it's packed, it's crazy there, but they're always fun.
Yeah, that's usually what the show is I go to events, Comic-Cons, and talk to different celebrities at
Right.
Comic-Con. But so yeah. And is there anything that you'd like to talk about or shout out?
No, if you haven't seen the show or still, Hulu has it, Peacock has it. You just mentioned it's very popular now. I know in Australia, and I think New England too, or England, the UK. So, just thank you. I want to, thanks to the fans. Thanks to the fans who kept us on the air for 6 years. It was great. It was a great run. That's a huge accomplishment in any show, so we're very proud of that. And it was a fun time. I'm happy with my legacy.
Go binge it on Netflix now if you're in Canada, Hulu, and which else did you say? Peacock. Peacock, yeah. Go binge Superstore. Let us know what you think of Superstore in the comments below. And thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Good to talk with you.